Seeing is not believing to me anymore. It's believing and it's seeing, but seeing it here in your imagination. And everything else around you is a manifestation of someone else's creation. My belief system is seeing something before it's happening in my imagination, and I'm just experiencing that in my day-to-day life. I enjoy what I do because I'm always out there having new experiences. Energetically, what you're telling yourself is, this is possible, because you're now walking into that reality. And here's the secret: once that opportunity is there and you take action, that energy stays there.
The final episode.
Final for this location.
Final for this location.
So let's start by addressing the elephant in the room.
Yes. Why is there a coconut?
Why is there a coconut? It's funny. Before you left, you asked me, if I wanted anything to eat or to drink. I said, I'll let you decide. And then I was thinking coconut in my head. I wasn't thinking coconut water. It was just like coconut. And you showed up with the actual coconut drink in your hand, like the actual coconut, which is really good, by the way.
Shout out to the restaurant, which I don't even remember their name. Close by. Beautiful Indian restaurant.
Now I know.
Beautiful decor. We're going to go. That was crazy because I was walking out and I was literally thinking, I had two options. You're like, you know what I like? I'm like, I thought either coconut water or protein shake. Protein shake, coconut water felt more refreshing. But I didn't have any battery in my phone. So I'm just like, I know the Freshie closed down. I'm like, all right, we're going to find a place. Yeah. So I'm just Spirit's guide. I'm driving. It's like, take a left. I look over. It's like some beautiful Indian restaurant. I have no idea what's there, but God just like, this is the one. So I go in there. I'm like, do you have something very refreshing? She's listing like mojito. I'm like, no. Club soda, no. She says a drink where she carves out a coconut. I'm like, oh, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah. I mean, I was shocked, surprised, but what I wasn't at the same time. So sometimes we don't need to speak or say anything and for the other person to understand.
There's certain things that are so unexplainable. Someone can say, oh, that's a coincidence, but like even follow up with that. I'm here reading something about Macedonia. You're fixing the camera and you just say, hey, what happened with Macedonia's soccer game? I mean, there's a million things we can talk about. The chances of that happening, so it's not coincidence. There's something there.
There's definitely something there. The same way, like there's Wi-Fi. We don't see the Wi-Fi signal, but we know that our devices are connected to the Wi-Fi, and we're also connected to this higher force. Call it God, call it universe, and we need to realize and come back to remembering that we're not just this physical connection between people, but there's also this force, which I call it ether or God, that we're all connected to, and then messages get passed down to one person to another through that.
I think Nikola Tesla said, the moment humanity starts studying non-physical entities, they'll make more progress. He says small period, let's say in 100 years, than they've done in all of history. And a lot of people are still only very much so, I have to see the physical. If it's not physical, I can't study it. But if we can get into those realms of the non-physical, that almost has such a good effect on us. Even as people, we learn about ourselves more, how we can control our minds.
It's true. Some people, unfortunately, need to see the evidence to be convinced, where others are just based on faith. Seeing is not believing to me anymore. It's believing and it's seeing, but seeing it here in your imagination. And everything else around you is a manifestation of someone else's creation. So if this table someone designed, this microphone someone designed, this screen we have behind us, somebody's idea was manifested into this physical form. So people need to understand that it's a waveform, it's a probability of something, an idea, which with your belief system, you're collapsing that into a form. And this is scientifically proven, which is quantum physics. So it goes from a waveform into a particle by the observer. And so what you're believing is now you're manifesting into reality. So once, like going back to what you said, once people understand this, and Nikola Tesla said this too, we'll live in a different world. And then, speaking of Nikola Tesla, he actually saw the blueprints in his imagination, and he created things using his imagination, and then manifesting in the actual physical form.
Man,
And then that's, to me, is genius. If you can do that, I mean, we all have the capability of doing that, but we just either we're not aware or we're not tapped into it.
God is always looking out for us. There's always ways that He's gonna give us to succeed, to get what we want, what we need to have. So that whole quantum observer effect, how does that show that faith and belief can influence something? You know, the one where it's like once they were looking at it, it changed.
Yeah.
So how does it show that faith and belief have a tangible effect on what we do?
What happens is, like, for me personally, so I have certain belief systems. They're modified for me to now exist in this reality. And it's not the same beliefs I had growing up, because as you get older, your belief system should adjust to what's happening around you as well. So for me, now that I have this new mindset, what's showing up in my life, call it coincidence, some people say it's just coincidence, is now things that I'm focusing on constantly. So that my belief system is seeing something before it's happening in my imagination, and I'm just experiencing that in my day-to-day life. So when I wake up in the morning, I have a clear vision of what I want to experience in my life, and things happen to line up for what is that I'm putting out there, what I'm projecting. It's a feedback mechanism. So if you're thinking and feeling a certain way, and you have certain belief systems, you're going to experience that in your reality. If you have negative thoughts, you're just going to have negative experiences. If you have happy thoughts and you're excited about something, you're going to have that experiences. I mean, we're all human. We go through ups and downs. And but don't stay more than 5 minutes in that negative feeling, because now you're just it's going to hurt you on the long term.
It's good to maybe look at the negative feeling from a place where you got to feel it, but you don't want to identify with it, where maybe I'm feeling guilt, I'm feeling shame, but I'm not guilt, I'm not shame, because then that becomes your personality. But if you feel
For
it,
sure.
then it becomes like a feedback loop. Or why am I feeling that? Oh, because I did this or that. Oh, then you correct it, map and master, and then you don't feel that anymore. Then you go to higher. God wants us to feel good emotions. We just have to get through the teachers.
You can
the
only
ones.
benefit from being in a happy state.
Yeah.
It's almost like a default. And then when you're in a negative, you get a feedback where it's like, okay, you can continue on this pattern or this behavior, but now you're going to suffer. And why go through that? Now, I know it's easier said than done, but feel it for the 5 minutes, or don't drag it longer than that, because now it's going to be part of you, and you're going to absorb that negative energy, and you carry it forward to the next day, and then repeat the cycle over and over. You know, sometimes we get triggered. Someone says something or does something, we get triggered. It's not because what that person did right at that moment. It's because what we experienced earlier on in our lives that stayed in us, and now that trigger is coming out. Now, you can avoid it, try to avoid it, or mask it, but eventually it's going to come out. And the more you try to suppress it, the bigger it will be later on, because now it needs your attention. Mm-hmm. It needs you to address it, because it needs to also leave, or else it's just going to be part of your character or your personality and what you're going to experience.
It's a lot warmer outside. We have a new season. What does spring mean to you?
I think spring, to me, is a new start. A lot of ancient civilizations took spring as a new year, new change. And for a while now, I kind of stopped looking at the dates on a calendar and just kind of went into the flow of following the seasons, different seasons, because different seasons mean different things for me now. So we just obviously came out of winter, where it's dark, it's cold. To me, it gave me an opportunity to go inside and kind of reflect and recharge and go over, kind of plan out what I want to do for the next season. You know, that's one of the time where, I guess, springtime, where you start planting the seeds, or you do it earlier in the later winters, and you start seeing the results in the spring, and in obviously summer, fruits come out and you harvest, and then going back to autumn where everything changes again, things fall. But it's a sign of going inside and kind of reflecting and seeing how you want to prepare yourself for the coming seasons. It's like a new year if you look at it. We just had the Persian New Year, March 20th. Those who celebrate, I'm not sure if it's the 20th or 21st. 'Cause it's always
Yeah,
springtime.
around there.
Yeah, it's planting seeds in winter, and then coming up with new ideas how you want to move forward the next season, and watch everything grow.
It's amazing. I have a friend who was mentioning this the other day about how in the winter the people are warmer, in the summer the people are colder. Kind of you have to maybe not. But one thing I will say, at the end of winter, all this like resilience that built all this internal spark, internal energy. That's why it makes sense actually now that I think about it when you're saying that this is the time to plant the best seeds. Now you have like the most internal juice, to really manifest what it is, create what you want to
For
create.
sure.
And a lot of people will spend it on the wrong things, and then you'll waste the energy. But now is such a pivotal time. So with that being said, obviously there's a bit of a transition. This is the last podcast in this space. How does that all make you feel, like going into a new era in this timing? It's kind of
I just feel like it's a new chapter. I don't see it negatively because things happen for a reason, and just looking at what came up right after this. I mean, we get tested in life, I think, where I could have looked at this negatively and said, I got 30 days notice. I have to move out of here. Where am I going to go? And I can go into panic mode or doubt or be afraid, but that's not my character. I've trained myself not to. If one door closes, I know there's many more that will open up, and sure enough, it has been my case. Even the way I even got the space in the studio, it's a long story, but I'll summarize it quickly. The previous company I was working for, they were closing down. Again, I could have looked at that negatively. I have a family. I could have been worried and not and uncertain of what steps I'm going to take. What am I going to do next? But those doubts and fears maybe lasted about 5 seconds. And then I switched my mind. I said, why don't I look at this as a new opportunity? I mean, sure, the place is closing down. I'm talking about the previous company. And it has always been a dream of mine to have my own studio. And the way it lined up for me is like, sure, things are breaking down, like physically, like the company's going, it's closing down. But here's an opportunity for me to start something new. The space is here. The location's great. I have everything I need. And I just saw the opportunity and I jumped on it. And sure enough, that was back in 2018. And we're 2025 now. And knock on wood, everything's been going great. No matter what happens to you, having that positive outlook on life really, really test. I mean, it's a test. We're human at the end of the day. Doubt and fear does creep in once in a while, but it shouldn't define who you are, because who you are is more than that. It's not. You're not fear. You're not doubt. None of those things. Those are things that you program yourself from an early age because you had some experience that stuck with you, and you didn't have the right tools to deal with it. But everyone has the right tools to deal with any circumstances that come up negatively. And if you have the right mindset, you can switch that over right away.
I can tell many, many blessings are about to be
Thank you.
bestowed.
Yeah.
And
it's funny, and we won't get into the details of what we're doing after this, what's happening next month.
Yeah.
But that should tell you right there. That person doesn't know me. That person knows you. They haven't seen any samples of our work, but there was something that made the connection and made it align in a way where there was no promo ads done. There's no advertising done. It was based on trust, I guess, at this point. And like I said, one door closes, the other one opens up, and we'll do another follow up when we get back, because I'm sure we're gonna have great experience
yeah.
just from that event. Just the event alone, what it's about is also for us to take it to the next level. Because if this is one level we played and the door closed, now we're moving on to another level. There are things that are moving around in the background that we don't see. That doesn't mean it's not happening. This is where you have to be patient, knowing that it's working for your best scenario. And just sometimes we get in the way. When you plant the seed, you have to trust the process. You can't go digging up and see where it's at, because you're now disturbing it. You're not believing in it.
Yeah.
If you trust yourself, trust the process, plant the seed, nourish it, give it water, sooner or later, you're going to see the results. And this happens either overnight, or it can happen 2-3 years, or it can happen over 10 years. It'll happen when it needs to happen. You just have to be patient. And in the meantime, do other things while something else you've planted is brewing.
It's good to surround yourself too with people who believe in that process. They don't give doubt to, like, maybe you should dig up that seed and do something else, but people, like, I came in, like, that's good testament. I walk in and my first reaction, I'm a positive person, but my first reaction is, this is kind of sad. It's gone. Memories. And then your wife right away. Better things. God's got better things. So for you to have good people around, it's so pivotal. And I think, so earlier, said 2018 to 2025. That's a 7-year cycle, right? They say.
Yeah, I didn't actually, thanks for pointing that out. I never thought about it that way. It's every 7 years you go through changes. Even from when the day you're born up to 7, there's a cycle. And then from 7 to 14, it's finding your self-identity, and so on and so on. But yeah, the 7-year rule.
21 to 28. So I guess I'm turning 28 then. But long story short, maybe it's the end of a cycle for me too. Who knows? Maybe God pinned us together at 3 years ago, whatever that was. Because it's like, these guys got to unite.
You're making room for new experiences to come in, having an open mind. But if you're closed-minded and you're set in your ways, you're not going to see that opportunity come your way, because the way you're thinking, you're just closed-minded. You're not seeing things coming from here or things from here. You're just looking what you have in front of you. Well, sure, I mean, if that's what makes you happy, then go ahead. But don't complain at the end of the day that things are not going your way. You're dreaming about having so-and-so in your life or certain situations or opportunities, but when you're closed-minded, and it could be the person that you sat next to on the bus, and then you heard their conversation and they're exactly what you're looking to align with. So it could be anything.
When God will say, to a specific person in the Bible, you build this temple or go to this place or speak to this person, it's never you have to do X, Y, and Z first. Once you get 100,000 and once you do this, then it's just go. I'm telling you, have faith, you're going to go. Yeah. And if you have that faith, it really comes around. Like even in this situation, if it's a new chapter, the other reason I think it's going to be blessed is you said that COVID for many people and for yourself was such a big transformation period.
It was, yeah.
So now it's like, now that all those 7 years of cells that are dead and now there's new cells, that process is done. This next period is going to be amazing.
That process alone, people don't understand. You're actually a brand new person. You're not the same physical form you were 7 years ago. So that should tell you something, that your body is changing on a cellular level as well to adjust to fit into this reality. And again, going back to quantum physics, everything is a possibility and probability for you. And as soon as you focus on that with your belief system, you're collapsing that into particle and you're manifesting in reality. Now, obviously, we have to work with time and space, but you have to be in a state of mind that have the guaranteed assumption that it's already done. Like whatever it is you want, it's already done. You just have to walk into that reality and see the signals and signs that for you, that you're on the right path. I mean, for me, it's, this, I'll see certain numbers when I'm traveling or in a place I've never been before. And that's a sign for me that, okay, I'm supposed to be here. Take spontaneous actions, because when you're supposed to go one way and all of a sudden, make a new decision and you go down a different path, things start working to support you. When you're doing something over and over, but you're not looking to change that, nothing new is coming your way. You're not going to experience anything new. It's the same thing, right? So you can't say I want to have a great experience when all you're doing is you're in this mindset of doing the same thing over and over, and you're just comfortable in that. And growth only comes when you're uncomfortable. I don't know if you know this. When a lobster is growing, it goes under stress, and the shell starts breaking down, only to help the lobster grow.
What are your intentions for the next period of your life? What do you want to do, and how do you plan on? What are the actions you plan on taking, like daily or weekly, to kind of get there?
It's a good question, because for last year, everyone has New Year's resolutions. For me, the only thing I could think of was to be patient. To be patient.
That's awesome.
To be patient, and that word just came to me, patient. And now it's just, I think, take action, because now being patient has allowed me to kind of sit back and see all the moving parts that we talked about earlier. And when you're patient, you have no choice but to be calm. And when you're calm, you see things clear. Oftentimes, we're thinking or wishing about something in our lives to change. In order for that to happen, sometimes things fall apart. They fall apart not because, you can look at it negatively, but you have to see that it's falling apart because it's making room. It's creating a foundation, because the old one wasn't working for you. This year was not only to take action, but surrender to the flow. Because you're patient, you see how things are moving and aligning. And when you surrender to the flow, your actions attach to where that flow is going. So it'll help you have with less resistance when you're in that flow state. But if you're resisting or trying hard, you're swimming against the current. It's going to feel much, much, much harder, and you're going to suffer. But why suffer when all you have to realize is, if you align yourself in the right position and you jump on that flow and you're in that flow state, it's going to push you and take you much further than you trying to figure out and doing it on your own.
Like you're almost, not almost, you are relying on God's will or God's spirit rather than your own.
Energy is not stagnant. It's constantly moving. The same way the waves in the ocean. That's the flow, right? And so if you're resisting that flow, you're just getting hit with that force over and over. That hit will sometimes be a small tap, and then at the end will be like a big punch in the face. Instead of riding the wave's hitting you at this point, because you're in the wrong alignment. So if you're on the right alignment, you're in the flow state. There's no resistance. You're just actually getting to the place you need to go. And it's going to get there much faster than if you're trying to do it on your own or trying to figure out on your own.
How does someone recognize if they're banging against the current too much and go about their doing it the right way?
In my case, it was a matter of just surrendering and not getting hit anymore, because I've pretty much exercised all my options, and I realized when I'm doing this is what's happening, the cause and effect. It's not working out. But when I do this, it's also this is happening, so it's not working out. So what do I do? So I was like, okay, be patient, and then surrender to the process, and then you'll see, oh, okay, because I got in the wrong time. I made the wrong move. So you have the realization where the entry point for you to be for the flow state.
Yeah, and then
it's like almost like a train that's moving, and all the doors are closed, and you try to jump on the train, but the doors are closed. So you have to time yourself in a way where you see the opportunity where the doors open, and align yourself on the right timing to jump on the train. And once you're on the train's going to take you to the destination you need to be.
Nice.
You don't have to be running. You don't have to be doing something to get there. I think that's a better
That's a really good
explanation.
analogy.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to timing the jump, if people have felt like I felt this before, I missed the jump, I missed the window.
There's always other windows.
There's
There's
always
always
another
other opportunities.
Your timing gets better.
There's always other opportunities, because your goal, if this is what you want to succeed in, if it's meant to be for you, it'll always come around. There's always second chances, third chances, fourth chances, if it's meant to be, if it aligns 100%. If it's not meant to be, then maybe you get on another train.
If you weren't ready, maybe you have to go do the healing, do the work,
Yeah.
whatever, and then it always comes.
Yeah,
you
maybe the
can't
train
run-
you're trying to catch is all
Wrong
the doors are closed. Maybe it's not the right train because it's going to take you down the wrong path. And again, if you zoom out and see where everything's leading up to, and you're open, have an open mind, you'll see, okay, if it's not this train, it's another train leaving at 12 o'clock. If it's not the 12 o'clock, it's the 2 p.m. If it's the 2 p.m., it's the 4 p.m. It's almost like on God's timing as well. This is where the part you surrender to it.
Surrender.
So when you surrender, you're not rushing, you're not forcing the outcome. And when you're trying to force the outcome, you're going to feel the resistance.
Every human has a divine element, a
For
divine
sure.
spark of God in
Yeah.
them. And we're all created for a reason. So because of that, there's a reason we're here. We all have a purpose. We all have a destiny. If we think that we missed that destiny, that's just completely contradictory to the facts.
Yeah.
The fact we're here for a reason. That's the law of God. There's a principle. And then it's about, like you said, sometimes it's even just letting go of ego or false idea. Just let go of everything.
Yeah.
Let go of everything. And then you'll just end up at the right train.
Yeah. And then remind yourself, like, what is it that you're passionate about? What is it that you love? And just pursue that. As ridiculous it sounds, as small as it sounds, because that's the seed. Like when you look at a seed and it's from a tree, look at the potential of that seed. It's going to be a humongous tree bearing fruits. But when you look at it, it's just a tiny little seed. But the potential of that, what's programmed in that, it's huge.
It's a speck. Like, okay, you could lead the horse to the well. You can't make the horse drink. Same thing. God can lead us to the right train, but then we have to make that jump.
Exactly.
And that's like the co-creation thing.
Exactly.
And then it was even kind of making me think of, man, it's sad not to see the Bruce Lee poster, but it was making me think about the ability to like let go, but hit. Like Bruce Lee can be like fluid enough to like contract and release. It's that like twofold equation. Yeah, that train was cool. That was a great analogy. I like.
Thank you.
So yeah,
And surrendering doesn't mean giving up. It's actually strength.
yeah,
Because when you're surrendering and you're building your strength for you to see the opportunity to jump on that right train, as we use that analogy. So if you surrender, you're actually charging up and getting yourself ready and then seeing that opportunity and act on it. But exactly what you said, that energy, that buildup you have to what you want to attract will come halfway. Your role in that is once you see that opportunity is to act on it. Oftentimes, people don't take that step. They'll see the opportunity, but they won't act on it.
Do you think it's a self-belief problem?
Oh, self-sabotage. I mean, I've done it.
Yeah, me too.
I've wished for something or surrendered to it, and it shows up, and I'm like, I don't have the right words, or I don't know how to act to complete it. It's literally happened to me so many times. Like I'll think of someone, let's just say, or an opportunity, and I'll see that person on the street, but I'm too afraid to approach that person. The chances of me running to that person on the street are 1 in a million. Crazy story. I won't get into detail, but I was applying for a job as a bartender a few years ago, and I wanted this job so bad. I felt as soon as I went there, it was my environment. I loved it. It was at an outdoors summery nightclub, and at the time I was bartending, and I saw that they were hiring, and I met with this person. Interview went great, and it was literally the next day I was walking downtown, and this person walked right in front of me. I could have stopped them right there and then said, "Hey, thank you for the opportunity that you gave me yesterday for the interview. I'm really excited about this position. What else do you think I can do getting this job?" But I saw and I didn't act.
It's like never again. After that,
Never there again.
Yeah, man.
So if that wasn't a sign,
Yeah.
right? This is what I wanted, and actually showed up the next day, but I didn't act on it.
That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
God will give you a sign.
Of course. Or it's someone you're thinking about. They call you, or you run into them on the street. If it's a girl, you're gonna ask out, and you say, "Oh here's my opportunity," and you're like, "What am I gonna say? What should you think? Do I smell? Do I look good?"
I love that Tom Brady. Like I always liked Tom Brady growing up. When he went to his university, he was the sixth string quarterback. So there's 5 people ahead of him in the pecking order. He's like, I knew my opportunity was gonna come. Was I gonna be ready? So he didn't even focus on when's it gonna come, when's it gonna come. He was just every day getting ready. I'm gonna train, train, train. Lo and behold, the opportunity did come. He seized it and he became the greatest quarterback of all time after. So I guess surrendering to God, and in that process of surrender, not just waiting around, but actually taking action into what you can do, whether it's bettering yourself or harvesting another plant, planting a seed
For sure.
there, all those things.
Again, I enjoy what I do because I'm always out there having new experiences. And from that experience, you're energetically, what you're telling yourself is, this is possible, because you're now walking into that reality. And here's the secret. Once that opportunity is there and you take action and you fulfill it and you complete it, that energy stays there. So if it's a company you work with or an event you went to or someone you met, that energy, your imprint is still there. I know it's hard to comprehend, but because it's still there, it's still giving the same vibration because you did it from passion and that energy stays there. And then when people are going on with their day-to-day life and they're walking through that energy that you left, guess who they're going to remember?
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I've done this so many times. I've gone somewhere. I'm having such an amazing time here. And I've made a conscious decision to, next time I have this great experience, I'm just going to leave this energy at that place. It's like almost like your calling card. You're leaving your business card and they're feeling it.
That's the best business card.
Yeah.
Oh, you do that very well. Like, how do you come from the heart? Like, what do you do to more so know that it's a heart centered?
It comes to me automatically because I love what I do and I'm passionate about it. So that's where it comes from. It's not like I sat down and said, how can I make money? How can I do this or that? It wasn't in my ego. It came because one day I decided to pick up the camera, and the camera is what helped me get through past my insecurities, my fears, because I had this passion. So my fears and doubts took a back seat. Like, no, this is what I want to do. I want to work with the camera. And that actually led me to videography. I got into editing, not just editing. I got into photography and just seeing things from a lens of the camera and telling a story afterwards.
Amazing.
I saw an instant feedback of how people are, how people act, and how I am and how I'm seeing things, because that changed over time. See, we see things the way we are and not how they are. And as soon as you change who you are, you see things differently. It's almost this shift that happens.
It's impossible to change another person, but it's
100%.
very possible to change yourself.
Yeah, that's actually a very, very good, valid point. You cannot change a 50-pound weight. It's going to be 50-pound weight, but what you can do is have the strength, the training to lift that weight now.
I love that.
You can't force it. 50 pounds is going to be 50 pounds. So what you're doing right now is you're not being you, or you're not being yourself. What you have to do is, if someone is a certain way, or there's conflict, or you don't have the experience, you need to change. You have to get the skills and experience in order to now align yourself with that person or that situation. Because as soon as you do that, you match. And when you match, the work is done. Well, what people like try to do is force the outcome. So 50-pound weight, no, I'm going to move it. I'm going to break it. I'm going to do this. You can't. It's 50 pounds. So stop trying to change someone's personality or character, because they're not going to change. You change. You approach them differently. Do your homework. What does that person like? Everyone likes something. So stop coming at it from one angle. Look at it a different perspective and approach the situation from there.
Yeah, some people think you got to be like push hard all the time. But you got to be able to be soft and yielding at times to rest and relax. You can't always be that. You got to have the punch. But like again, like fighting. If I'm just constantly hook, like nonstop, you're going to burn yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know when to relax and you know when to contract, you can go forever.
And I heard this at one of the seminars I attended. There was a coach, and what he said made total sense. It's like, stop trying to convince your clients in a language that you're speaking. Learn how to speak their language.
What you were saying there was making me think about my earlier experience with the guy from a sales perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You know, talking to someone. Now I'm in their territory, And I just, the person's a little like, like just like a little closed off. And I'm pushing. This is what we do. This is why. But it's like, why are you pushing into something that's not receiving?
Yeah.
First step, you got to just let them relax, connect with them, speak their language.
Exactly.
Like you said, connect.
Speak their language.
And it's not anything manipulative. It's like, let's look, I'm not trying to, because people have guards up. Some have more guards than other. I'm not trying to do anything deceptive. I'm trying to help your business. But maybe they don't know me. I could be some crazy person, right? So we just lower their guards, connect. Oh, okay, we're people. Okay, now let's talk. And it's a good lesson. It's a good reminder there.
So we cannot try to force an outcome from something, or a lot of people like to chase down a client, or chase something down to receive
Runs
it,
away.
or money too. Think of what you're saying. You're chasing something that's leaving. If it's leaving, why are you chasing it? You're supposed to put yourself in an alignment. There's no chasing. If me and you are aligned, we're gonna get along. I'm gonna help you. You're gonna help me, because now we understand. We're talking the same language. So if you can understand this, and your company understand this, your employees understand this, your sales team understands this, you're not selling at this point. You're just helping people make connections and align to other people. You could be the middle person. You know this person, you know that person. Mike needs this, and you know John. John, meet Mike. Mike, John. Connection. That's it.
I was always a fat kid. Okay.
No, I didn't know that.
I was always a fat kid. So we played tag. I'd chase, I'd run, chase. Always get away from me. I couldn't catch them. It's too fat, right? But then the moment I stopped, I'm like, all right, I'm not doing this chase. They run a little, wait, they turn around. Hold on, where are you going? And they come back. Same thing, same principle. You chase, they're going to go away. You stop.
Same when you're trying to ask a girl out. Don't chase them.
Doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It never works.
We're the prize. You have to position yourself as the prize, as they have to position themselves as the prize as well. We both have to know our value, know our worth. And you can meet someone, you can meet a girl and say, hey, you're very beautiful. It doesn't mean I'm going to run after you. That's enough just to bring me here. Now I'm here. I have value. You have value.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Let's talk. Does it align? Great.
Maybe you open your mouth and you have nothing good to say. I don't even want to be here anymore. Or maybe
so that changes. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe your personality shines even way beyond what you look, and now I want to stay here. And you like me, I stay. But I guess it's the same with any connection. You don't stay by force. You stay.
And this is why it's important to love yourself first, to work on yourself first, because oftentimes it's happened to me too. I've seen other people go through this. You look for love and outside of you, as in like something external. When you find the right person and you feel those feelings of love, it's because you already had those feelings in you. It's not like the other person put the love in you. You had love in you. You just realized it because that person brought out that love in you. So think of how backwards everything is.
So crazy when you think of, like, you're actually feeling when you're feeling in love with someone or something. You feel yourself in love. Right?
Exactly.
You don't feel the other. Like,
no.
They help contribute to that.
Of course.
And they could help open that door. But when they leave, or if someone, let's say, passes away, God forbid, or someone's gone, we get sad and heartbroken because we think that feeling we felt is gone permanently with that person.
It's never gone.
But they're actually a gift because they let you feel that. And now you can get back to that. And then that's where it's good to get realigned and find what brings you that joy.
And this is why you hear oftentimes, God forbid, someone passes away, and you said you'll always remember them in your heart, which is true, because that's where everything resides, is in your heart. It's not this outside, like once they're gone, what are you going to feel? And even if they're there, what are you going to feel? You're going to feel that love. You're going to feel them. And to add to what you're saying, that sadness isn't really sadness, because what's happening is now you're surrendering, and what you're feeling, what you had with that person was this strong bond and this love. And because it's all coming at you at that instant, that moment, it's very emotional. So you cannot handle it. But what you're feeling is love on like friggin' steroids.
No, I remember you said that. That's absolutely true. And if you weren't expressing that love to that person,
because you never connected to them at that level until they were gone, but they're not really gone. But what you're feeling is the love already there, what you felt about them. But now it's just happening so much in that moment that you think you're grieving or it's sadness. It's not. It's love. That's love on steroids.
Nice.
And this is why you shake and your tears come down, and this is a cleansing process because that love is translated into light, and your body needs to shake it off, get adjusted to, and calibrate yourself. So what happens is like you go through that transformation, and once that process is done, you'll always feel that inside of you, but at a different level now that you're used to. Whereas before you never tapped into that, what you thought you had in you.
So what's left behind? Like, you know how you're saying you go somewhere, you leave your stamp, like your business card of energy there. So let's say you left behind, like you go through this, you left behind. What happens? What do you leave behind there?
It's your energy, your aura, because if you're doing something and you're operating from love, what you're leaving behind is on a frequency level is love vibrating constantly, right? It's there. Even when, like you said, we're going back to someone passing, they're just passing. They're not. I know physically they're not here, but you're actually still feeling those feelings you had with that person, because that energy is still there. Because going back to quantum physics, even though we're not seeing this be going through time and space, everything is in the now. Even the people that like from the past, it's in the now. They're always here, but we don't experience that because we're experiencing time and space. But if everything is happening in the now and all there is the now, so you could be surrounded with people right now that are already in this room, your loved ones, and then as soon as you think about someone, that emotion comes up, and the emotion comes up, you feel them again. But right now you have filters on, and you're not thinking about that. We're having this conversation. So there's so many other things happening right now, but our focus is right now brought to this moment, to our conversation.
I think, when we're talking about relationships, people always say you have to, and it's true, you have to find your purpose and love outside of that. Otherwise you risk putting all that feeling onto another person and never fulfilling your true purpose. I think that purpose it's so deep. I guess it's because when you're actually doing that, it's not just like, oh, I have to do this. When you're doing that, you're in such a state of love, joy, satisfaction, even through the hardships, like even through the negative parts, you're doing it for a greater purpose. And when you have that, and then you're in the state where you can have other people come in, but you gotta hold on to this.
What is that energy that people are feeling when you're no longer there, and they're remembering you and they're remembering the experience? That energy is that impact that you made on that person's life. And what the energy is that an imprint you left behind. And they pick up on it. People remember how you made them feel and not what you did for them. It's what they felt and how well, that energy got transferred over to the experience. The best advertising to me is word of mouth, because what happens is when you leave that energy behind, they spread that same energy and pass that on to someone else. So because they had a great experience with you and they remember how you made them feel, they want to share that. If it was a negative experience, they're not going to share it with anyone, right? They'll just the story ends there. It's like Serge did this awful job and that's it. I don't trust them, or I'll never hire him again. But if you not only did a great job, you're passionate and love what you did, they're going to feel that. And so what they'll do is take that torch, take that energy, and pass it on to someone else. So next time, the first person they're going to think of is you.
In regards to some law of assumption, do you have anything that comes to mind?
Yeah. So I actually started doing that, the law of assumption, very recently, in the last 6 months. And what that means is you already putting yourself in a state of mind that whatever is you want to attract, you already have. So you have the abundance, you have the health, you have the client, you have the family, you have the partner, you have the location, you have the vacation that you want. It's already embedded. So what that happens when you're in that state of mind, you're creating a field of energy that is just going to match that experience that you're going to have, because like attracts like. And what we talked about earlier, the opportunity will show up. You just have to take action. The law of assumption is the next level, in my opinion, because if you're in a state of abundance, abundance, and there's no room for lack, what do you think you're going to experience when you wake up in the morning?
Abundance, good
Abundance,
things.
great experience, opportunities, right? So the same way, if you can look at your life and say my life sucks, or you can wake up in the morning and say I'm very appreciative, I'm very grateful for the life I have. And so what you're going to experience are those what you feel inside.
How are there any tips for? I mean, that's what. Well, how do you?
So,
Yeah.
do I have any tips? So, whenever I do have a doubt or fear, anything comes up, it's very short. I switch. It's a mindset. So I turn that off right away. I say it's already done. I don't have to worry about it. And people will look at you and
I've seen that before.
yeah, you're like, what do you
I
mean?
get
It's done. Well, you didn't do it. It's not complete.
Yeah.
No, it's already done because the law of assumption also ties into the quantum physics. Because in the quantum physics, everything, all the probabilities, possibilities are already complete. It's up to you to align and then energetically see that what it is that you want and then go through that experience. So like I said earlier, like attracts like. It's going to meet you. It has no other choice. It is a universal law. So if like attracts like, and in the quantum physics, everything is already done, in the outside of time and space, and you use your imagination and feel great about something that it's already happened and you're happy about it, it's going to show up. Like you don't doubt that the sun's going to come up tomorrow. You don't even have to assume it's going to show up. Because it's this feeling that you have. Yeah, no, I'm not worried. The sun's going to show up tomorrow.
Man, what about you had a note there about letting go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's-
So letting go is another thing I started doing. Is I can look at what the experience I'm having with the studio, where I'm physically attached to all the space, the equipment and everything else I have set up. But so I let go. When you let go, there's no attachments. You don't have any attachments to anything. So you just experience as the experience unfolds itself, and you're more in the present moment. You're more in the now. Because you move forward easily when you don't have any attachments to anything. And the only way to move forward is not to be attached to anything. It could be past relationship, it could be a job that you had and you got fired, or the place closed down and you still have an attachment. So you keep going back and having the same emotional feeling about it. Again, about the energy you leave behind. If you left behind a positive energy, you're going to just continue having that experience. But if you're now feeling sad, you're now leaving behind I'm not sad about, leaving the studio. I'm actually excited about the next opportunity. I'm actually excited. So.
Yeah. I see. What about the biggest thing we got to detach from ourselves, our ego? What about that? Is it identity?
I mean, you can't get rid of the ego because we're living in a third dimensional reality. The ego is there just to not control you or dominate you. Is there to kind of keep you in line and check. Yeah, as long as you're controlling it and don't let the ego control you.
Yeah, it will have your best interest. Like it's looking to do good, but
Yeah.
sometimes it
You have to have the yin and yang, and one pushes the other one. As long as it's equal balance and not one's overpowering the other either.
Yeah, detachment is so key, but also to maintain the love, kind of detachment from the outcome, but marriage to the present and to showing love in the present.
100%, 100%. And anything you think about, don't forget your physical body doesn't know where you are in time and space. Only your mind knows.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going back in time and thinking about the bad experience you had, your body's going to feel the emotional pain that you experienced because it thinks you're back there again. Because it's up, when you're using your imagination, everything flows to that direction. So same with why people have anxiety. They think of a worst case scenario in the future when it hasn't even happened yet. So their body goes through that experience, an anxiety feeling that, oh my God, what is this? Like, there's nothing to, put yourself, whatever worries you have, and silence the mind, put yourself in the present moment. Whatever it is that you experienced in the past, you can't anymore because now you bring yourself in the present moment. Once you realize in the present moment, those things will slowly go away. I mean, I'm not saying forget what happened. It's part of your experience, but you should recognize the lesson in that. because what you experience also needs your attention because it's part of you now. You develop some sort of character going through that experience. So as soon as you address the cause of your emotional pain, it'll slowly go away because now just give it love. Transmute that energy. Feel it to the fullest at this point because you hid it, right? This is why you're still carrying it because you hid it inside your field. Bring it up to the surface, love it, and then just transmute it and release it.
You can tell there's credence, like truth in what you're saying because it's so evident in nature. You know, you can have the most vile thing, like, I don't know, let's say manure, you know, it turns into creating a beautiful plant.
Of course, yeah.
So you're the same thing. You're just like clearing the shit out, for lack of a better word, clearing the bad things, and really that alchemy, like with God's help, transforming it into something good. It's energy, right? So just
for sure. So
energy.
Great point right there. What happens if you hold that in? You don't go to the washroom for 2, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. You'll die. You'll explode. Your stomach or intestines will explode and you'll die.
Yeah.
So why are you holding on to that? But you know you have to release it. But why are you holding on to emotions from the past? It's almost the same thing. Because your body is feeling that in what you're carrying.
And our heart has the capability, like, I guess, survival mechanism to hold on to it.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not where it's optimal.
No, it's not. And you can't move forward. If you go into a new relationship, having this, bringing up your past relationship, first of all, that relationship won't last. Or you'll just attract someone the same experience that you had previously because now you haven't healed yourself.
And
you go through the same experience.
It could even be someone that you met, a certain type of person, it wasn't resonating at the right time because you weren't healed to the metric, but then that person or that type of person re-resonates, or you heal yourself and a totally new person comes in like, whoa, I didn't even know this experience was possible. But really the focus should just be on not the external, but the internal, healing that, and then you'll know when it comes, I guess.
Again, I can come up with an example where I've actually been to a wedding where the two people that got married years afterwards, they were at the same wedding, but they never knew each other. They're in the same space, but because they weren't ready to meet, they never had their interaction. They met another way, but they were at the same wedding.
And they're like, what, you were at that wedding?
So again, it goes back to what I said. You see things the way you are. Maybe you weren't ready to have that experience into that relationship with that person because energetically you weren't aligned. But you're in the same space, which is weird. So growing up, the experiences we have, what we end up doing is, and I know this because, having a camera, when it's too bright out, it's called ND filter. I have to put an filter to adjust for the environment and the lighting. When we're going through experiences, what we end up doing is we add filters to adjust to what's happening. So everything we have experienced in our lives, we've added filters to. The same way I've added a filter in front of my lens, I've added a filter in front of these eyes or what I'm seeing or what I'm experiencing. Meaning, right now in this room, me and you are focusing on this, so we have a filter on to focus in this situation right now. But if we remove this filter, we can start hearing noise. Mm-hmm. And if you remove that filter, we can hear the car noises, the street. And if you remove that filter, maybe we'll hear the birds on the tree. So we've added these layers of filters, and they come on and off at different times. And I know this because, again, and I'm very fortunate to be in this industry where I'm using the camera, using the lens, and it's actually brought me to this level of awareness where I am today.
To be like, when you can go, what's the word, like?
Wide perspective.
Wide perspective. And then it allows you to go narrow and see the individual parts. Mm-hmm. And then you could remove other things to just see the individual part as a whole. Like even Photoshop, you take off layers.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Then that actually makes you appreciate the greater whole. You see how everything's interconnected because you remove it and you're like, oh, it's not the same.
So we have that technology built in us already. The camera is an outside extension of how the technology already inside of us.
That's so true.
So if you look at things in life, we've created that technology. So it came from us because of the way our perspective, the way our thinking, and we're just using the lens, the filters and things like that We already have.
Even like everything, computers, like the neural
Computers,
networks.
exactly.
And
Or it's called memory. It holds memory.
And that's
Processor, your brain processes information.
the optics, like the way the eyes and everything work, is really pretty amazing.
Even Wi-Fi. Like what earlier on we
yeah.
mentioned. Like I was thinking, coconut,
Yeah.
right? And then you picked up on the signal and you showed up with the coconut.
And then I was thinking Macedonia, and then you picked up on the signal and asked about Macedonia.
Yeah.
That's a wild one.
Yeah.
Is there a give and take? Like you have more synchronicity, more frequency with certain people. You're like,
The older you get, your inner circle gets smaller, because it happens in a way where you're filtering out people now that it's not like it has nothing to do with you get along or don't get along. It's like you're not on the same level. You're not resonating at that same frequency. So a great example of what we experience with the, what you said about the coconut, and I picked up on the signal of what, and this is life. And people come into your life for a reason or for a season, but don't take it personal if they leave.
that's so true. When you attach to that, you're almost blocking potential future blessings, or sometimes it's a lack of humility. Like if let's say I had a client or a relationship, I treated them terribly and they leave. That's what you gotta be a little humble to understand. Maybe there was a reason.
Yeah.
And then after that humility, you learn the lesson, and then you can detach a little because like, oh, I understand why. And then you operate. Let's say you have to be more truthful or more hardworking. Okay, so you go on that, a new blessing comes in.
Yeah.
It's not like if something bad happens, it's an inundation, like a God saying you're punished forever. It's let me just give you a little teaching lesson, and then like you said, the train will always come.
It's a lesson. Those things that happen to us in life, it's just preparing us for us to go to the next level. If you can't go through that experience and humble yourself, and what are you going to learn? And if you want to be on another level, you have to go through this experience, definitely. And again, it's not like you're trying to change the other person or the outcome, because now you're forcing it. Again, that 50-pound weight is always going to be 50 pounds. You have to build your strength to lift that. Work on yourself as much as you can, because that's what it's going to take. And that's where your confidence is going to come from as well. Don't tell yourself you're this and stick by that, because today you're this person. But again, what we said earlier, 7 years from now, you're not anymore. So your thinking has to also adapt. And the best strength doesn't come from physical strength. It's the person or thing that adapts to the environment and situation. Because if you can adapt, you can survive. But if you can't adapt, it doesn't matter how much weight you can lift. A lot of people are still stuck in ways of doing things like the old school way. For what? But look at Kodak, for example. They didn't think digital was going to take off, and they were the number one in film.
So what do you now? If you could get into the mind of the Kodak chairman at the time, CEO.
Yeah.
What do you think was it?
They weren't willing to adapt. They're still stuck the old ways of doing things.
And do you think it was because, again, we have no idea what was the conversation going on in there, but was it perhaps like, we're already so successful, we've been so successful?
That could be part of it too, because the ego doesn't want to let go, doesn't like change. It's too familiar. So as soon as you give it something outside of its comfort, it's there to protect you. It'll say, no, I don't want this. That's why the previous podcast I said, be comfortable in being uncomfortable, because that's what it's going to take. In order to build muscle, you need to break things down first for the muscle to build. So if things are breaking down, don't look at it as negatively. It's there to, it's shaping you. It's forming you for you to be, if you see the opportunity for you to get to the next level. It's building your character.
I was watching a really good video. This guy, Sam Ovens, breaking down. He read all of Jeff Bezos's letters to Amazon shareholders. And he's like, the main principles that he learned from it. And one of them, every decision-making process that they ever made, it's never about, what do I want? Like me, Jeff, or this guy. Like it's never like, we want X, Y, and Z. It's always, they train themselves so much to make it, what does the customer want? And how, I guess a few other things. But just wondering if Kodak really, at those times, could really like step outside of their own ego or whatever it is, and just really, it's kind of like just their own they got to be intellectually honest. Step out and be, okay, we want the best for these people. And then be thorough enough to analyze it from every situation, because everything was pointing towards, it's going towards digital. You had to
For
be
sure.
like, the information was there. It was like you purposely don't want to see this information or taking some gamble. But if they had the right lens, you know, something like
You can't hold the number one position for long.
Yeah.
Someone else will always come and take that spot. And it's okay.
yeah,
Just be proud that you were at one point number one.
that's right.
Yeah, you cannot sustain that level on long term. I don't care what you say. I don't care who you are. You can't.
Even like the fighters or sports teams.
Yep.
There's always a next champion in line.
100%. And it should be. Be happy that you're in that position for however long that took for you to sustain that, and then hand it over to someone else.
Yeah. But people always respect a gracious champion, you know, someone like Volkanovski, not just because he's Macedonian background, but he's a guy people respect because he held the belt, and then the moment he loses the belt, devastating fashion, right away, just listen, other guy was the better guy. I'm going to do my best to get back. That's it. But then other people,
If anything, you help create that next number one. Because how do you know that the person wasn't looking up to you and getting inspired to be like you and learning from you, but they use their own different angle to beat you?
Yeah, we're all standing on the shoulders of giants.
It's the 4-minute mile. As soon as someone broke the 4-minute mile, so many other people broke that record. Seeing is believing, but also believing in yourself. What the seeing is the outcome afterwards. So once you shift your mindset, you'll be the first to experience the manifestation of that. Once you believe in yourself, I mean, we can all look around and see what people have achieved and believe that we can do it, or you can believe in yourself and beat all the odds and be the first one to do it. It's up to you.
I wonder if me and you had like a larger scale company that grows, I feel like we could create a good culture there. You know, like I feel like
100%. It'll be the best place to work.
Yeah,
Without feeling that they're working.
yeah.
That's the secret too. Like when you find the right people and they have the right mindset and everything aligns, and this goes to anyone that's hiring, it shouldn't feel like work. They shouldn't be dragging their feet to get to the company or whatever it is that they're doing, or sitting there and hating their job. If it aligns, they're happy. And anyways, you don't want anyone like that. And this is why it's important to do those interviews to filter out people that you don't want to hire. Don't hire based on their resume either. They have to be the right fit. Anyone could look great on a resume, but are they the right fit? Right. You know how many jobs was hired to? Because I was the right fit, and not because of what I had in my resume. I sometimes didn't even have anything on the resume what the experience required. They just felt like I was the right fit.
Because what can a piece of paper tell you more than a person? Right
exactly.
Yeah.
And obviously there's probation period that you have to go through. It's 3 months, 6 months. And that should be enough time that, they get to know you and you get to know them.
What do you think? For me, it's kind of funny. But sometimes I'll actually hear people nowadays say, there's no jobs out there. I'm like, I kind of laugh.
No.
I want to be sympathetic, but it's kind of funny. But what do you?
There's no jobs out there. If that's what you're thinking, you're confirming your programming.
Yeah, it's such a negative belief.
If there isn't any jobs that fulfill your needs or your purpose, why don't you go and create one? Create something for yourself. Put it that way. Just change your mindset. Stop saying there's no jobs. If there isn't, then create one that fulfills your needs.
It's funny. I'll have someone will come in. There's no jobs. And then I'm not going to lose energy, but yes, there are jobs. Or I'm not going to agree, no, there's no jobs. Same thing. We'll come around, have the conversation. Well, okay, have you looked here? No. Okay, maybe this is a sign that you can start a business. Maybe you're not looking for the right place. Maybe you've done this. You give a person like 5 hooks of like what to grab on for good thing. And then some people are just, they don't see it. They don't want it. No, there's no jobs. And then it's like, okay, sorry. I can't jump.
And another reason, and I'm just speaking for myself because I've gone through that. You have that mindset. It's because you're not comfortable in the situation you're in. Yeah. So when you're comfortable, you're not pushing yourself. You're not looking for that opportunity. Because if you are, it'll come to you. It'll show up, and you just take action.
Man, that's so funny. It's actually sad. It's not even funny.
I've been there. I actually been there. Oh, there's no jobs. I can't find one. It was just a bunch of excuses for me to buy time.
It's always jobs, man. Maybe there's not the job that you want right now, but maybe your job is roofing.
Finding what you're really good at, meaning where you enjoy doing and you're getting a charge out of it while you're going through the experience. Doesn't matter how big or small it is, just work towards it. And who knows, like just say even picking up garbage, and I'm not knocking anyone that's picking up garbage, but if you're doing it with passion and love, who's to say you're not going to be the person that's going to have a company that's going to pick up a garbage for the rest of Toronto or the rest of the province?
Yeah.
Don't think small. That seed I was mentioning earlier has so much potential. People don't realize. With one match, I can light up a match and burn this building down with one tiny match. That passion is the light, the flame that you have inside of you. Imagine what you can create with that. So fire away. Don't doubt yourself, man. Just because you heard a no, or again, it's opening up, surrendering, and then realizing that everything will flow and everything's meant to be. And once you surrender.
You know what's the craziest thing too? You know how far ago this seed started? The one book that I read in high school, Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
The only book. And this was a Think and Grow Rich cruise. That was 12 years ago.
You cannot rush the process sometimes because in order for this to align, other things had to happen. I had to come into your life 10 years, afterwards or something.
Yeah.
But again, there's a lot of moving parts and we don't see it, but it's a result. This reality we're experiencing is a result of other people's collective contribution, from form into particle, which is matter. And you got this table.
So say what you want about Warren Buffett. I always like what Warren Buffett would say. Berkshire Hathaway, he was the richest person in the world at a point with Charlie Munger. They were both like billionaires, whatever. It's like, Warren, why don't you do this alone? He's like, well, I get along well with Charlie and it's a lot more fun, It's true. It is. I don't even want to build something. We build something together. It could be awesome. We're already technically working together.
Yeah, we're holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
Without the pressure.
Yes. I got an idea. Okay. You have Rise and Shine, right? Personal brand. I'll hop on, run our podcast, whatever. You want to create a book. I want to create a book. I don't know what do you think I should call my YouTube channel? I was just going to call it Alex. Should I make a name for it?
Whatever resonates, man.
I always like Goals Pod back in the day. Goals Pod.
Gold?
Goals Pod.
Oh, goals.
Does that make sense? Nah, we'll see.
Whatever sits and resonates with you, man. Don't think about it. Just kind of observe it.
Maybe Dolce Media. I don't know.
That's a good one, too.
Yeah. Okay. So whatever. I'll make some videos. You make some videos. We're gaining traction. We make videos together, obviously, right? Now, imagine this. We have our website, which I got the guy that called me earlier. I gave someone a deposit to make a website a month ago. He keeps calling. We'll build the website. So what can they get? You know what we need to do? Do you know what was perfect about how we met, how we were at Damien and Anatoly's place? Me and you in that trade show, like every place that we're at together, environment, we're like, remember that? I'm like, we're outside. Like, we need to do this more often, man. Like we are like cooking. Like it's just.
Even that experience. Like spontaneous. Yeah. We kind of held each other accountable for like, okay, you want to go? Okay, let's just go. Let's just go. Let's do it. And then look at the experience, what came out of it. Yeah. And the location was literally 5 minutes down where you live, like literally down the road. We could have walked over to the office. The one-on-ones are very, very important. I don't care what, you cannot replace the one-on-one with any AI or any technology.
Absolutely.
This is where you need to start. Yeah. The other things are just tools for you to help them with. That's it.
Absolutely. So what's next for you, Serge? What do you think?
Well, this was a great, great experience for me. I started in 2018 in this location, and I'm very grateful for the experience I had at this location. It served more than what words can describe. And I just felt this energy every time I came in here, and I just want to take that energy with me to the next location. This one door is being closed, but I know in my heart the opportunities that are waiting for me, and I'm going to align with I'm just excited to move towards it. I love what I do. So it's just going to come natural at this point to, I'm not holding anything down. I'm not anchored to this place. It is what it is. Nothing lasts forever. And I'm just excited for the next chapter.
So Godspeed on the next chapter.
Thank you, my friend.
I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
We'll film the next podcast.
At the new location.
The new location.
All right, man.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Well done.